to do that again. Oops. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just had a few thoughts on some things, and if you catch this on the replay, that's fine. I do have something to do, so you guys can travel along. There's enough room for everybody to travel along and not be crammed up as I go do what I need to go do. But just real quick, I just had a few thoughts on this low-ness disability kind of fiasco going on. As somebody in that community that can fully speak on things of that nature, I mean, it's a sensitive situation for some, right? And for people who are not a part, they definitely feel like they need to advocate for a lot of things and situations. Me personally, sorry, because my thing is not holding up, but anyway, you get the picture. But the reality is this: she knows her own limitations, and if she didn't know, she should have learned them fast, because nobody is responsible for you but you, right? And I also get it on the other side. People who are not accustomed to being around somebody with a disability, they don't know if the person needs help or what the person needs. So they're constantly around them, kind of like, hey, you need help, you need help, you need help, you need help. Growing up in a family where I'm the only one like me, and no one treated me any different. So I didn't know what that was like until I, hung out with my friends outside of my family nucleus, right? And people were, oh, you need help? And I'm like, oh, I got it, and you constantly always, I got it, don't worry, I got it. But in situations, say like this, and you're traveling with people, right, and they don't know what to do just in case something may happen or anything, that may happen. Personally, it's just me. I think, yeah, a little heads up beforehand would have been nice, just so the people know, what to expect and how to accommodate or help you along. In fact, you needed it, right? That's just a thing. I mean, just like you automatically knew that you would need a wheelchair in the airport, it's the same thing. But you didn't think you would need a wheelchair outside of the airport? It's Vegas. It kind of goes without saying. So, I think some of it is like playing on the sympathy card, but a lot of it can also be frustration, because again, you are traveling with people that don't know you, they don't know nothing about your situation, and yet you traveling with them, now they have to, although they say they're not responsible, nobody really who's a human, you know what I'm saying, is going to treat somebody less than on a trip. They're just not going to do it. And they're going to feel a way that it's even happening the way it's happening. So again, I get Ness's frustration, because it's a given. Nobody's going to want to feel that way. I should have went that way. Nobody's going to want to feel that way, because they know, and y'all know good and goddamn well, that had she really treated her like, oh, I don't give a fuck, whatever happens to you, y'all'd be on her ass like white on rice. And she knows it, y'all know it. So I don't know why we even acting like, oh, I can go this way. I don't know why we even acting like it's not a thing. Because we all know it's a thing. So I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, I think it would have just been nice to give a heads up. I mean, even in my situations when I travel, there have been times when, people have been like, oh, I never forget the one time we were in Chicago and D was like reaching out to help me up the steps, and then she stopped herself and was like, oh hell, you probably know how to get up them steps better than me. What did it look like helping you? And it's just that, after a while you kind of learn how to maneuver and get around, but you also know how to get on the phone and call and get services if you need to. You don't leave that up to the people who you're traveling with to then have to kind of, arrange their fund to make sure you're okay. That's not their responsibility to do that either. So I think it should have been up, she should have handled it better as far as the situation was concerned, and maybe give a heads up. Hey, this is what I'm dealing with. I don't think it'll be difficult or whatever. I've never been to Vegas, so I don't know. But I will set this up if need be. I'll set up a scooter. I'll do this. I'll do that. Because let me tell you, there was plenty of people, okay, old as hell, on scooters and everything else. And to be very honest with you, I've been there 3 times. But I've been accustomed to, walking around, or if it's too much for me, I know how to sit my ass down. But I don't know. I can't call it. It's a bit of catch-22 in this situation. But all this back and forth, and then people being in their feelings about people kind of sort of saying that people with disabilities shouldn't be going and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you can't say that the lady is saying that, because she's not saying that at all. But it's this, in that same vein, when people say the things that they say, as if they shouldn't be on YouTube, or how dare you say something about me and you dealing with this, and y'all sit in the chats and y'all laugh and kiki at the same shit. So it's the same thing. So I mean, it's like, get out your feelings. Like, it's not the serious. She brought herself on the trip, right? So she had to know that eventually, at some point, some things were going to happen. I mean, granted, it's not cool when you go on trips and you got to kind of like watch yourself to ensure that people may not take photos or do all kinds of craziness. But that's what you get when you don't know the people that you're traveling with, right? And you kind of take that chance. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, I wish that she would future take trips or whatever and be comfortable and do what you need to do. But you also know now that you gotta, you have to plan ahead. You do. You can't just get up and go just because somebody's giving you a free trip and think, oh yeah, it's fun and dandy. We gonna rock out with our cocks out, because it's not that type of situation for you. It's different for you. So you have to, do what you need to do to ensure that you'll have a good trip, and not kind of make anybody else have to cater or take care of or watch after or look after you. Truth be told, to be very honest with you, I'm confused as if, why do you have 5 kids and not one of your children went on this trip with you to ensure that you would have a good time, and that if anything happened to you, they are right there to make sure that you're okay. Not strangers that you don't know, that you only know from a chat and any of that. That part for me is the part where I'm like, what are we doing here? Because if I'm going on a goddamn trip and I don't really, rock with the people that I'm on the trip with, but I'm gonna go anyway, and I know that in my situation I may need extra help. Thank God, it's not that. But if that was the case, oh yeah, hell yeah, somebody that is close to me, that knows me more than anything, would be going on that trip with me. And since, hell, if I got a free trip, then either that person can pay for their own trip, or I can help them with their trip. So I know that somebody is coming with me that knows me. So I don't understand that part. I'm lost on that. I'm really lost on that part altogether. Because again, it's not or anybody else's responsibility to research on what your situation is, what your limitations are, or anything of that nature. You should have been right off break and said, hey, I have XYZ. Walking a whole lot may be an issue for me, but no worries. I'm going to look into getting XYZ. Period. That would have ended this whole thing back and forth. But again, people know how to utilize things to make people feel sympathetic about different situations. Now, granted, you know, you were crying in different situations on other people's lives. And yes, it started to make people who were watching think that you were being treated unfairly. And that's just what it was. Now, if you weren't being treated misfairly, that's how it came across. So then you can't come back right after displaying that. You can't come back and then say, no, everybody treated me great, everybody treated me fine. Then everybody's looking at you sideways. Like, what the hell is going on? Did you get a speaking to? Did somebody, pull you up and say, hey, no, don't do this, don't do that? Because again, it is jarring for people. It is. You can't, again, as somebody who knows this backwards and forwards, I cannot expect people to not be kind of taken back by me, right? But what I can do is just continue to be me, right? And move forward. And if it's a problem for you, then it just be a fucking problem. But it ain't gonna stop me from doing whatever it is that I want to do. And in that same vein, that's how this trip should have been handled. There shouldn't have been no situation where if you needed the extra time or something to assist you in your travels or moving around, then you should have gotten that. Not that it was anybody's responsibility to get that for you. That should have been something that you hooked up or got coordinated with your hotel or whatever for you. Period. And it's only nice that people decided to lend a helping hand, make sure you're okay, and things of that nature. Because Lord knows, like I said, had they not, they'd have been dragging them from here to Methuselah. And as they are, even though they did look out and make sure you were okay and make sure you didn't miss the bus and all this kind of stuff. But again, reality, knowing your situation, knowing what you're dealing with, and knowing that you're the only one that knows you and knows your body. So hey, walking would be an issue for me. Let me get this motorized scooter. Let me contact the hotel and see if they could have a scooter or something waiting for me. So when I'm ready to go out, the scooter is there. I get on it, and bam, we get to going. Something. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I get the frustration, and it's on both sides, But at the end of the day, it's nobody's responsibility but your own to make sure that you can maneuver and travel through whatever situation you're in for you, comfortable for you. That's nobody's responsibility but your own, right? Yeah, and it is what it is. I'm sorry the situation happened the way it happened, and I do hope that, because I was listening about the conversation, I do hope that you guys can have a conversation and agree to disagree, but just have a conversation where everything is just aired out and honestly aired out, not anything fake, but just aired out honestly. Because again, it's not that easy for people to come into a situation where they don't know nothing about nothing, thinking everything is hunky-dory, and they see it and they're a bit taken back. Like, damn, are you going to be able to do anything? Do we have to, what do we have to do? Do we have to, it's difficult. And you have to then explain to people, no, I don't need you to do this. I don't need your help to do this. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, whatever. But if indeed you can't, then you need to say something, and you need to make sure that things are in place where you can get the help you need. But yeah, all this kind of, people getting in their feelings about people kind of saying things along the lines of people with disabilities should not go, should not do this, should not do that. Only you can limit yourself. So I don't really get caught up in that talk. It means nothing to me. I've done far more than a lot of these people uh, could and would ever do, so it does not bother me at all. But like I said, as a person who lives it completely, yeah, that could have been handled totally different. So everybody has some fault here. It's not just on one hand. Everybody has a little bit of, yeah, you could have handled this a lot better. But especially the person who has it, yes, it is your responsibility to make sure that you are always taken care of, can handle, and if you can't, then you make provisions to where in which you are always okay. It's never nobody else's responsibility for that. And with that, I am at my location to do what I need to do actually for my brother. And I will probably hit on later. I mean, if anything else comes up. But you guys enjoy your Sunday, as I will and always do. All right. You have a good one. Peace.